Welcome to highlights of stage 9 of the Vuelta A Espana from Alfaro de Valdez-Cadet, 195.5 kilometres. The red jersey on the shoulders of Torsten Trein, the green jersey on the shoulders of Mads Pedersen. All smiles at the start. Almeida looking relaxed. Jay Vine in spots, king of the mountains, and this was what was on the menu. A lumpy profile, 3,311 metres of elevation, but the first significant point on the route comes with 29 kilometres to go. That's the bonus sprint, and then we've got the climb to the line. So a significant climb, 13.2 Ks, 5%, with maximum gradients at the bottom of 12%, but looking pretty relaxed and getting very comfortable in the red jersey was Torsten Trein. We were to have a break that took around 40 kilometres of active racing, 45 kilometres an hour average speed, so a fast and furious start. But the breakaway consisted of Michael Hessmann of Movistar, Michal Kwiatkowski of Ineos, Archie Ryan of EF Education Easy Post, Kevin Vermaak was there of Picnic PostNL, and rounding out the group of 5 out in front was Liam Slock of Lotto. There was sunshine and there was rain, and the peloton being led by Lidl Trek for the vast majority of the day. Lots of work being done by Emmanuel Gebrejabir and Dan Uller, but going through the only intermediate sprint of the day, bonus seconds on offer and 20 points towards the green jersey competition. It was the Belgian Liam Slock who just chipped off the front to take maximum points there ahead of Michael Hessmann of Movistar. No points available for the chasing bunch behind, but the gap had narrowed and was now sitting at about 1 minute and 13 seconds. So confirmation, Slock from Hessmann from Michal Kwiatkowski. And in terms of the overall green jersey, Mads Pedersen still leading, a 9-point advantage over Ethan Vernon, with Philipsen still there in third. Coming towards the foot of the final climb to the line, Lidl Trek were throwing everything at it. Søren Kragh Andersen, the Danish champion, putting his shoulder to the wheel, and the gap was starting to tumble to our 5 riders out in front. Then there was a tumble, a crash, seeing Victor Gjørnelek of Arkea come off. Thankfully, he was up on his bike pretty quickly, but wasn't to regain the peloton. Ever nearer the bottom of the final climb, and a breakaway's lead has virtually evaporated. Archie Ryan doing his utmost to try and keep them in front, but it wasn't to be. And it was Gruppo Compatto. The peloton came back together at the very foot of the final climb to the line. It was action stations at the front and reversing lights at the back as the steep slope started to bite and the rain started to fall. But then Matteo Jorgensen lit things up. The bees on the front, Visma Lease bike injecting some ferocious pace. Jonas Vingegaard on the wheel, and a sprightly looking Giulio Ciccone also in the hunt there as Visma Lease bike started to string things out on the steeper slopes at the lower part of the climb, the Valdez-Cadet. Jorgensen, a terminal effort from the powerful American, a flick of the elbow, and then it was time for Jonas Vingegaard to light up the afterburners, and that is what exactly he did, creating a big time gap between the chasers. But still, Giulio Ciccone was on his wheel and looking as sprightly as ever, locked on to the wheel of the man who has taken 2 Tour de France titles and is in the hunt for his first ever Vuelta. But then Vingegaard pressed on and Giulio Ciccone could hold on no more. And there's the moment that Giulio Ciccone said farewell, waved the white flag, put himself into the red, a little glance round, and Vingegaard was alone. But then an interesting trio of chasers formed behind Jay Almeida, Felix Gall and Tom Pidcock. Almeida doing the vast majority of the pacemaking, and Felix Gall of Decathlon AG2R, 5th in the Tour de France, remember, could not hold on to the duo in front. There was a brave performance yet again from Torsten Trein as he gamely tried to stay in contact with the GC group and, of course, the red jersey. But this was an interesting moment. Jay Almeida, with a proper game face on, looking in an accusatory fashion across to Tom Pidcock, asking for some assistance. And ultimately the Briton was to do exactly that. But the gap was increasing at the front. Jonas Vingegaard, as the gradient started to lessen, started to pile on the pressure and opened up a lead of around 30 seconds. Meanwhile, the GC group behind was starting to fragment. Lorenzo Fortunato just at the back there trying to hold on. But as the road flattened towards the line with 2 Ks to go, Pidcock started to swap turns with Almeida, and they held the lead steady at around 30 seconds to this man.
Jonas Vingegaard on his way to stage win number 2 of this Vuelta, getting closer up in the standings. He might even take red today. We have to wait a couple of minutes for that. Jonas Vingegaard to the line, and Visma Lease Bike with their bees stinging just before the first rest day. It's a glorious victory in Val d'Escaray for the Danish superstar.
A superb victory for him. Second place to Tom Pidcock, third to João Almeida. Great ride by the British rider, but there was nothing anybody could do about that acceleration that took him clear. Great ride as well for fifth place for Raul Garcia Pierna for Arkea, just in front of Marc Soler and Giulio Ciccone. And just at the back of that group, the red jersey of Torsten Trin, who was to hold on for another day. But a kiss to the finger, the wedding ring there of Jonas Vingegaard, win number 40 in his career, the second of this Vuelta, and the GC battle has really started to hot up. So the day's result, it went to Jonas Vingegaard ahead of Tom Pidcock and João Almeida. Then we have Gall, Garcia Pierna, Soler, Ciccone, Belocchi, Hindley and Fortunato.
I felt super great today, and then on the last climb I also felt really good, and then I said to my team that if they could speed up, and they did, and then I tried, and they did super well, so that was amazing teamwork, and super happy that I could finish it off, and I couldn't do it without them.
A super team performance, a superb individual performance, but that's the situation at the top of the standings. Try and still with a lead, but it's come down. 37 seconds is his advantage over Jonas Vingegaard going in to the rest day. Almeida there in third, Tom Pidcock up to fourth. A wave there, looking a little bit tired, but Torsten Trin can be proud of his efforts. Can he hold on for another day as we head towards stage 10, which comes after the rest day? This is what is on offer, 175.3 kilometres, a third category climb before the ascent to the line. Will it be a day for the breakaway? There certainly will be a GC battle, but will the red jersey change hands? You will not want to miss stage 10.